With the news of Cameron Smith's defection to LIV Golf, Cameron Davis turned out to be the big beneficiary. Trevor Immelman called up the Sydneysider as one of his 6 captain's picks for the President's Cup in Quail Hollow, North Carolina. Davis has one PGA Tour to his name, and little is known about his personal life. Keep watching this video as we bring you the lowdown on Davis and Smith. First up, how is Davis's game? Davis has one PGA Tour win to his name and is currently ranked number 67 in the world. He will pair with 10-time President's Cup player Adam Scott. They're the only 2 Australians in the 12-man team that will go face-to-face with the mighty Americans. World number 1 Scottie Scheffler will lead teammates Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, and Jordan Spieth for the United States. Keep watching to find out how all of this played out. So, why is Cameron Smith out? Smith was banned from the PGA Tour along with all other golfers that joined Greg Norman's Saudi-backed series. The controversial series has caused first-time captain Immelman endless headaches. Smith was expected to be the front man in the international campaign. He's one of 8 auto qualifiers and also the highest-ranked international player. Last week, Smith, Mark Leishman, number 62, who was also strongly favored for a captain's pick, and Joaquin Niemann, number 19, signed with LIV Golf. We're about to show you how Davis entered the fray, and thus enters Davis. This move by those 3 players opened the door for Cameron Davis, who was immediately elevated above Lucas Herbert, number 53, and Ryan Fox, number 47 from New Zealand. And so, on the back of the mass defection, Davis will make his President's Cup debut. When asked about this, Davis was his usual humble self. "It feels awesome to be part of a team I've looked up to my entire career and before that as a junior golfer." He also went on to say this opportunity was something every international player wants to be a part of, especially seeing how huge the Ryder Cup is. He hopes to have an opportunity to be part of the team to turn the tide on the Americans, who dominate the series. Davis also said, "But it was a call that I can't say I was expecting. It was quietly hoped for, and if it came, it would be a good surprise. Otherwise, I would have understood why not." And now, for a bit of peace after the chaos. In the meantime, Immelman is relieved the nightmare is over. Abraham Ancer from Mexico and Louis Oosthuizen from South Africa were almost guaranteed to be selected for the event in Charlotte, but they had also previously defected to LIV Golf. Immelman seemed to be taking this on the chin though. "Is it disappointing?" he said. "Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. Absolutely it's disappointing. I'm glad it's all over right now." He explained that the tough part was a couple of weeks ago, but he is now, particularly after their trip when all the new guys came together as a unit, excited. "I know that we have 12 players that are hungry, and we have 12 players that wanted to be there, so we go from here." The team understands the enormous mountain they have to climb. They'll be facing what is possibly the best American team ever assembled. That's if you look at them on paper with their accomplishments and what their world rankings are. But does the team stand a chance? Stay tuned to make up your own mind. So, who will lead and who will follow? Hideki Matsuyama from Japan, along with Adam Scott, will lead the international outfit that will include Davis, alongside Christian Bezuidenhout, Taylor Pendrith, K.H. Lee, Tom Kim, Corey Connors, Sungjae Im, Mito Pereira, Sebastian Munoz, and Siwoo Kim. When asked about Davis and his sudden inclusion in the team, Immelman said, "He's somebody that I've been impressed with for a long time. Great ball striker. I seem to, when I'm out on the tour broadcasting, always find my way down to where he's hitting balls on the range. He hits it a mile. I've spoken about that before. I think that suits this golf course very well." The President's Cup has only been won by the international side once. At Royal Melbourne back in 2019, they led into the final day of singles and were then swept out of the way by the Americans with Tiger Woods at the helm. In the interim, the tour has announced that Melbourne will host the President's Cup again in 2028. In the meantime, a rule breach has proven costly for Smith. Back in August, Cameron Smith was docked 2 strokes shortly before the final round of the St. Jude Championships in Memphis, and this happened because an official decided to watch a late-night replay of the day's game. The British Open champion from Australia was retrospectively penalized for not taking relief from the correct spot. This was after he hooked a tree shot into the water. It happened in the 3rd round on the par 3 4th. Smith only got the sanction moments before he had to start the 4th round. So, where he was supposed to tee off on the final day of the FedEx Cup, 2 shots behind the lead, Smith, at 9 under, began the day 4 strokes behind. And even par 70 was just not enough to mount a proper challenge. But what really happened that cost Smith his #1 spot in world golf? The PGA Tour rules official Gary Young explained, Smith dropped the ball in that area, but it came back to rest against the line, and it was at that point he obviously thought it was okay to play it from that position. You have to take complete relief from that penalty area. Apparently, they discussed the whole thing before round 4 after another official had seen the broadcast, so they decided to have a chat with Smith. If Smith had won the tournament, he would have been world #1 because Scottie Scheffler had missed the cut. Because of this rules error, Smith didn't even make it to the best Aussie of the tournament. Adam Scott, the world #11, Immelman carded a 66, 4 under, to finish in a tie for 5th, and this as he started his warm-up for the President's Cup. Coincidentally, Australian Open champion Cameron Davis posted a 66 in his last round and joined Smith in a tied 13th. For more Smith controversy, watch to the end of this video. Actually, controversy had dogged Smith all week. Apart from the rules error, news broke in the same week that Smith was going to defect to Greg Norman's Saudi-backed LIV Golf tournament straight after the President's Cup. At that point, Smith made it clear that any announcement about his future would be made by himself. This after fellow Australian pro Cameron Percy mentioned in an interview that Smith and Mark Leishman were, as he put it, gone from the PGA Tour. In the end, American Will Zalatoris won the St. Jude Championship with 15 under. It was his first PGA Tour title. He took the tournament on the third playoff hole, and this after his tee shot miraculously wedged on the ledge between grass and a concrete wall on the par 3 11th. Sepp Straka from Austria knocked his tee shot into the water, and Zalatoris had to take a drop and then make a bogey putt. With Davis reaping the benefit, what do we know about him? So back to Davis. Is he married? Cameron Davis won his first PGA Tour title on the 4th of July 2021 at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. This really catapulted him into the limelight. In an interview, Cameron had reflected on his win. He said, "It's been pretty hectic ever since the 17th hole for me. I just tried to put it as much out of my mind as I could and just hit every shot for what it was worth. As simple as that sounds, it's so hard to do when the pressure is on like that. I just kept putting good swings on it. I didn't make any putts, but I kept on putting it in play and it worked out all right. But he is notoriously private, so not a lot is known about his private life. We sniffed around a bit to see what we could find out. And yes, he is married. Cameron Davis is married to Jonica Zapier-Koska. The happy event was on the 5th of September 2020 in a private ceremony. Jonica's Instagram says she is a user assistance developer. She is originally from Issaquah, Washington, and also does a lot of technical writing. Her social awareness interests include Black Lives Matter and women's rights. So where'd they meet? Davis and Zapier-Koska met in 2017 and got married in 2020 after a 3-year courtship. Social media is full of pics from the event. At the time, Davis wrote on his Instagram, "September 5th still feels like a dream. So proud and grateful to be able to call at Jonica Zap my wife. Such a magical day celebrating a lifetime of memories I can't wait to share with you." Davis's family was back in Australia and attended the event via video call. Now, back to golf. Cameron Davis, in typical fashion, didn't have too much to say about his PGA title victory. To be honest, in my head, there wasn't thought of trying to hold it. I was just trying to pick my spot and just hit another good bunker shot. I've hit a lot of good ones this week, and that one just came off pretty nicely. A golfer to watch? Definitely. A true talent? Without a doubt. And blue blood ambassador for the game? We have no doubt.